Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me either live or on the replay. I'm so happy to be joining you in your homes or wherever you may be. Ooh, are you somewhere exciting? If you are, I'm really jealous. I'm a little bit cooped up here, but you know what? Stampin' Up and crafting has been my escape through all of this and my real connection to all of you. So I'm so happy to have you join me if you're watching live, if you're watching the replay. I love it when you comment along. So please, I know that you might be busy, you might be crafting along with me, but please, if you could check in, say hi, let me know who's watching. You can do some thumbs up, you can do hearts. I love it when you show me what you like, because then in future episodes, I can show you and give you more of what you want. So wow, I see people are already joining. People are already saying hi. Oh, Heather, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're joining. So if you're watching the replay, you can still comment along. And if those comments are ever bothering you, just remember that you can swipe to the side. But really, I love it when you comment along. It makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself alone in my basement. Like maybe I kind of feel like I am sometimes. All right, let's talk first of all about promotions, because we've got a 15% off designer series paper sale this month, and it's not on all of them, it's on some of them. So let me show you which ones, because I know you're going to want to add some of these to your orders. And speaking of orders, I'm placing an order starting this Thursday, or sorry, starting like Wednesday, wrapping it up hopefully Thursday. So if you want any of these items, we can ship them to my house in South Edmonton and save you on shipping for orders under $100. Or if you have a whole bunch of goodies, you just let me know and I'd be happy to walk you through placing an order online and having this count towards getting your club cards for free. Okay, now get on with it. Let's talk about what's on sale. So Artistry Blooms is an amazing set of paper that I'm actually using on 2 different projects tonight, and I know that you're going to fall in love with it. Every single sheet is better than the last one. And when you open it up, you're not going to want to cut into it until you start cutting into it, and then you won't be able to stop using it. And you'll want to use it on every single project. So anyways, I would recommend just getting this one because you're going to love it. It's so colorful, it's so happy, and it's the perfect antidote to everything that's going on in terms of weather right now, right? Everything's gray and white and snowy. We don't want that. We want happy, we want bright. So make sure you add that to your order. So that's Artistry Blooms. And the sale is mostly on paper that is not specialty paper. So for example, any of our specialty designer series paper, like the Ornate Garden, which has metallic foil accents on it, is not going to be on sale. So anything like that is not going to be on sale. All of the regular papers are on sale except for this one. So Flowers for Every Season, for some reason, is not on sale. So just make a note of that. But the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, which is probably my favorite of all time, is on sale. And it's getting low on inventory right now. So if you want it, make sure you get it soon. So like I said, if you want it included on the order, please just let me know and I'd be happy to order it for you. There's also In Good Taste, which is on sale. And this one, you look at the price and think $29, but it's actually a double pack of paper. So it's twice as much as our regular pack. So per sheet, it's actually less. And this package gives you double the designs. It's still 2 each of the sheets, but you actually get 12 different designs. And that's the one with wood grains and fabric and tiles and all the different textiles. Peony Garden is also on special. That one's really beautiful florals, muted colors that are really neutral and versatile. There's also Playing with Patterns. This is the one that we used for the card that I had a zebra on last month. So this is a 6x6 inch paper pack. You get 48 sheets, so per inch it's the same as all of our other packs, but it's just a 6x6 inch format instead. There's also the Playful Pets, which is 15% off, and we know that we can use that one even without the stamps and the framelets. The what are they called now? Die cutting pieces. So the dies, hello. Okay. I love live videos when you can't think of the word and you're like, oh man. I know you guys are all going to just chime in with your comments saying what I'm saying wrong, and I appreciate that because I feel like some days my brain is completely fried. Whale of a Time is also 6 inches by 6 inches, and these are so beautiful. They've got lots of different vignettes on them too. So some of them actually will look like the sea floor, kind of seascape, and you can put the whales in or different scenes, or even just a saying on top of that would be beautiful. So that's all from the annual catalog. From our mini catalog, there are some on sale as well. So Heartwarming Hugs, and that's on page 9. That's 12 inches by 12 inches. Poinsettia Place is on page 15. Now this one I want to point out especially because this one you might think poinsettias, well, aren't they usually red? Well, they've given them to us in white, so we can leave them as white poinsettias, or we know we can always just take a marker. The Stampin Blends work really, really well, and we can just color over top of the designer series paper and make that poinsettia exactly the perfect color. So whether that's real red for you, whether that's Poppy Parade, or whether it's my favorite color, Cherry Cobbler. On page 25, we've got our Trimming the Town designer series paper. And this one's really fun. It's got all those little houses in regular size, in mini size. We've got wreaths and little Christmas trees. We've even got little people. And this sheet is so much fun. It's 12 inches by 12 inches and has mountains and then like a little village scene below. It's really cute. Then we've got page 31, 'Tis the Season 6 inches by 6 inch paper stack. That one's on sale as well. And there's always one that I want to forget about, but it's tucked in here and it's actually coming back from last year. This is the 12 Tidings, and this one's really cool because it's got the same pattern on both sides of the paper. One side is green in color, and then one side is the real red color. So if you're making a project where you're going to see both sides of the paper, it works extra special for matchy-matchy folks like me. So Snowflake Splendor is another one that is so beautiful, but this one is a lot more than just snowflakes. There are full sides of this paper that are just like a watercolor wash, and they're just beautiful. So if you like these colors, and if you need some snowflake paper, or if you need some Christmas paper, this is a great one for you for the holiday season, for winter and beyond as well. That one's one of my favorites. I think it probably is my new favorite. Magic in This Night is our our Halloween paper, and that one's really fun and cool. That one's 15% off as well. And Plaid Tidings is a really versatile set. This is 6 inches by 6 inches as well, but you can see it's from a set that is for all different occasions. So we've got fall, Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and these papers are meant to coordinate with all of that. So you've got pinks, you've got purples, you've got greens, everything in there, and you can make some really adorable projects with that. Okay, so let's talk about something else new. Oh, look at this. I found my embellishments for later. That's good. I'll put those to the side. I'm notorious for losing those. I hope you guys don't have that problem too. Do you guys want to see what's inside? Yes, I think you do. Let's see those hearts. Let's see those thumbs up. Okay, you guys want to see? Here we go. This is our new paper pumpkin. This just arrived the other day. And darn it all, anyways, I didn't get out another sheet of white so I can show you the stamp set very well. Here we go. So let's take a look at the stamp set. So for those of you who don't know about Paper Pumpkin, it's one of my favorite products that we offer, and it's a surprise even to us demonstrators. We don't know what's coming until it actually arrives at our doorstep. So I order a few extra a month, and if you're interested in this kit, you can definitely pick it up. It's for $30, and it includes the stamp set, and these are exclusive stamps that you can only get in this kit. So we've got joy, we've got Merry Christmas, we've got joy, of course, to the world, to you and yours, sending joy, right? That would go together. Wishing you a very happy Christmas filled with fun and laughter. And of course, our beautiful images of a wreath which can be used for any different season, and a beautiful flower too. Now, the ink spot that's included in this kit is Just Jade, which is probably, I think it's just into the #1 spot for my favorite in color that they released this year. So we've got that. We've got also, I'll just show you in the order that I'm pulling it out. These are envelopes. I know you guys mostly wouldn't be excited about the envelopes first of all, but they give us a little hint as to what's to come. So you can see in here we've got all different languages that say joy and peace and love. And that's the theme of this kit, is joy to the world. And they've included sayings for us in 3 different languages. So we've got love, amor, and I'm not going to say the German because I just butcher it. And my husband is German and I hate to say that, but I just don't. Oh, Liebe. Because the first time he said I love you to me was when he said it in German, and he said it in a nice way. Rather than saying, like, Ich liebe dich, he said, Ich liebe dich. And I said, what does that mean? And he says, it means I love you. And then I went, oh, okay. And I wasn't sure if he was actually saying it or not. So I just went, oh, that's interesting. So later we went on a walk that day and he said, I love you in English. And I said, oh, okay. I said, I love you too. I just wasn't sure, you know, if it was a German lesson that was happening earlier today or not. But it was both. Anyways, I showed you just quickly there. These are our card bases, and you can see there's some gold embossing there. That's so funny. I forgot about that story, and I was just telling that off the cuff. I wasn't thinking that I was going to tell that story tonight. So we've got also a translation here. Stampin' Up! Has given us the English to French to German translation. So they're encouraging us to send this kit or these projects all over the world. So if you've got family in another country, I've got German in-laws who live in Saskatchewan, so very exotic, but I'm going to get some bonus points for using these German sayings. I just know that I will. All right, and then we've also got some cherry cobbler twine. We've got 1 full sheet of dimensionals. So wow, they're so generous. And then this one here, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get it with the light, but we've got an embossed piece of paper that makes it look like a cable knit sweater or knitted sweater. There's a whole bunch of different stitches on there. So this project, this kit makes 8 different projects, 8 cards. And it includes envelopes too. And then of course you'll have extra sayings on there as well. But another tip for you is to extend your kit, you can actually cut these cards in half and put them onto a cardstock base made of white. And then you've got twice the amount of card bases. Wink, wink, there's a little hint for you. I'm sure you could have a lot of fun making some other beautiful projects. And if you guys are interested in this kit and wanting to know a little bit more inspiration, there's a Facebook group that I can point you to. So just send me a message and I'd be happy to send that Facebook group to you, and then you can get all kinds of inspiration. So again, I've got a few extras of these. They're going kind of fast. So let me know if you want one of them. So $30 again. Okay, let's do another little tutorial here. I'm going to be using this punch 2 times in the projects that I'm showing you today. And I wanted to show you that you can do so much more with this punch than to just take a piece of paper and punch it out. So that's the regular shape. There we go. Now you can also extend the life of this punch and the use of this punch, I should say, not life. These punches will last a long time. And you can just feed it in one side and make it as long or as short as you want. So let's make it really nice and short here. Okay, there we go. The camera's in the way. So there you go. If you had a little saying on there, or if you stamped the saying afterwards, you could just make the perfect size little tag, couldn't you? And then there's another way of extending the usage of this punch. And that's to stick it through and only punch one side. Now, when you do this at home, you're going to have a moment of, oh my goodness, what did she say to do? And then you can always go back to this video and reference it. So this again is going to make a tag, and you could do it on the other side and make it as long as you want, right? And that's one side that we can do. Now let's take a look at the other side too. I just love this punch. It's so versatile. So there's the other side. So you could make a tag that's long that looks like that on both sides too. Do you guys want to see some other shapes? So this is using, again, that side with just a narrower piece of paper. Can you guys see that? I just love this one. These are kind of the size that I punched out, showing you that smaller one. So you can make it small, small. You can make it really tiny with a little saying that looks like that. And that's just using that topmost part and then coming in and trimming off the other side. There's a tag that's even longer than the normal punch. And I think that's all the different options there. But I'm sure you could have so much fun with this. So if you don't have this punch, it's actually in our annual catalog. I've got so many tabs on here because I'm showing you so many different things tonight, but it's the Label Me Lovely punch, and that's on page 166. So if you're shopping online, just type in Label Me Lovely under stampinup.com or go to my website, Stamping with Kelly with a G, Stamping with Kelly.stampinup.net. And then you can just go to shop now, and then you can get started shopping there. Okay, first project, if you guys are stamping along with me, you want to get out your supplies that have this cute little treat bag here. So where did this treat bag come from? Because you're going to look in the catalog for this and you're not going to see it anywhere. Well, it's from our paper pumpkin. And this is a previous kit that came out in the summertime. Let me see if I've got the sheet handy. Yeah, I likely don't. Here. It's like no matter how much I prep for these live events, guys, I'm still going to be missing out on something. Here we go. Summer Nights. And this is the kit. It's actually not available on my website right now, but I tell you what, I purchased so many of these because I'm obsessed with them for myself, and I'd be happy to let some go to some good homes. So, if you want one of these, this contains the supplies for 9 postcards and envelopes plus 9 tea light bags. And these are the tea light bags that are included. So they have them stamped with a stamp set, which isn't included anymore in the $15 packs. These are called the refills, and it includes just the consumable supplies. If you were to have ordered this when it was first available, then there was a stamp set and an ink spot that went along with it. Now those aren't available anymore, and I don't have any of those on hand anymore either. But honestly, you can use this with any stamp set that you have. You can have so much fun with it. And it includes a whole bunch of die cuts, including this cute little Ferris wheel and roller coaster, and all these little lanterns which have gold embellishments on them. So for those of you who have watched maybe the last 2 months, you'll be like, oh my gosh, enough with this kit already. But seriously, I'm so obsessed with it. And then there's also a Summer Nights add-on pack. This comes with 24 card bases and 24 envelopes. So instead of them being postcards, which you would mount on top of a card, and I've emboss some trees here and then put some black ink over them, but the postcards just go onto card bases like this and turn into cards. But in the add-on pack, you actually get these cardstock card bases, and you can do some stamping on those. You can do all kinds of fun things. I've got a post of this, so if you want to see it, you just write me a comment and I will link it up for you. But this is some quick stamping. I did all of these cardstock bases with just a Memento ink pad and about half an hour's worth of time. It was so much fun. And guess what? We're using some of these other pieces later on tonight too. So if you want either of those, either the add-on or the refill, they're both $15. That includes shipping and GST from Stampin' Up! To my house. So if you want them shipped to you elsewhere in Canada, it would be a little bit more postage, but just write me a note and you let me know if you're interested. The first thing that I'm going to do with this cute little treat bag is to score the top. So I'm using just my scoring blade, not my cutting blade, and that's going to give me a nice spot where I can fold it over, and then that can close up the bag. So let me show you what we're creating here. We're creating a cute little chocolate bag, and this is a bonus project actually. So this is a project that I'm just throwing in there. Normally we do 3 cards, and I just wanted to have something else, and I thought this was so perfect to use up these bags. So I wanted to make a whole bunch of bags for myself too. So this is just the perfect excuse. I design it once, I cut it once, and you guys get to make it along with me. Now I'm going to save one of these little stars, and these stars are from that same Paper Pumpkin pack, and that's going to seal up my bag when it's all said and done. So right now I'm just going to open up my bag and tuck it in there so that I can use it later. Now, using our fantastic colored paper, this is from that, I'll show you afterwards, this is from that first Designer Series paper pack that I was oohing and awing over. You're going to take the side that you want to show through your little fireworks opening and just put a bit of Stampin' Seal in the 4 corners. Now, you don't want to go beyond the 4 corners because, of course, with the peekaboo nature of this bag, it's going to show through. I love the dimensions of this project because that piece of Designer Series paper is 3 inches by 3 inches, and this piece of paper is 1 inch by 3 inches. So out of one 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, you can actually make 12 of these cute little bags. So that means you get 12 of those 3 inch by 3 inch, and then you also get 12 of the 1 inch by 3 inch, and then you just use the opposite side, and it's like a totally different pattern on there. Okay, for this little piece here, we're going to make a fishtail. So you can do that with your little snips, or if you want, oh, I don't have that punch handy. I'm going off the cuff. I should never go off the cuff. I'm using that punch on a different project, but I think it's tucked in a bag somewhere. So I like to snip up in the middle and then snip, snip from the corners. And then you don't end up having like that bang hairdo where it just keeps going up and up and up as you try to level it out. Then using Stampin' Seal. Nobody's done that before, have they? Is anyone else doing their own COVID haircuts like I am? I decided to cut my hair into bangs just before COVID. That was a great decision. Today's plan, consume chocolate and be awesome. Could that be any more perfect for this little bag? I don't think so. So again, this is using that punch that I showed you all those fun tricks. And I just have 2 dimensionals on the back side of that. And I'm going to tuck my cute little epoxy stars, which you can't get anywhere else but in that refill kit. I just have them kind of sticking out there. So now while you guys, if you're crafting along, while you guys are wrapping that up, I'm going to show you all the different products that I'm using for that first project. So the first one is, and I'll maybe put this to the side so you can see that still, Nothing's Better Than. This is a fantastic stamp set, and the bundle is even better. The bundle you can see on this page here. Bundle and Save, where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Sorry, up at the top. Bundle and Save, and it comes along with dies that cut out the words chocolate, coffee, cookies, what did I say? Cocktails? Did I say that yet? No. And then it will cut out the stamped images for these ones that are outlined here too. It also includes some words that say love you more than, and so you can put whatever you want along with it, and that's shown up in the card here. So that's a really cute set, and again, very versatile, very, very fun. And the second thing that we're using is, of course, that Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper. We're going to use that for our next project as well. And this is, again, like a showstopper. It's so, so beautiful. And you can do lots of techniques with this paper too, because it's just, it hasn't got a lot of pattern to it. It's mostly just brush strokes and gradients. All right, then we've also got our, what do they have on here? I'm doing these projects out of order. This is silly. Why am I doing this? Oh, once again, guys, I love this live stuff. It's so great. Why am I out of order here? Am I making them in the wrong order? I swear I did this last night. Yeah, I'm doing it out of order. Okay, guys, hold the phone. We're supposed to do this next one here first. Oh my goodness. Okay, if I could edit this, I would take out that part. So just, can you, zzz, again, we're going to erase that part in your brain too. Let's take our piece of cardstock, well, it's actually Designer Series paper, and we're going to work on our next project, which is also including that same suite. So this is it here, the final finished project. And we've got some really fun adhesive sequins on there. Our coffee is lifted up with our dimensional sheets that we cut through our die cutting machine. And I've got a little secret of where that coffee came from. And there's a little sneak peek of it there. And then on the inside, well, on the inside it actually says here, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. And this little pocket is for you to put a little gift card in there. So how fun is that? All right, let's get started on making this card. This is, again, I talked about not wasting any Designer Series paper, and I hate wasting paper. This is 12 inches long by 4 inches wide. So you can get 3 of these out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So again, really good usage of paper, no waste, which is important to me. Now I'm going to take my background sheet here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is put it on the inside of my card. So I've stamped the, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too on there because I think it's so perfect. So you're going to want that stamp set to go along with this. All right, so I'm just putting it centered there. And then I'm going to take some tear tape. Now, if you guys don't have this, you'll want to get it. It's our strongest adhesive that we offer. And the best feature is that it's so convenient. You just tear it. You don't have to use scissors at all. But I really like it for doing any pockets. So if you're putting a little gift card in, because it keeps it very in line, and it's our narrowest adhesive as well. It's just a little bit easier to control. So I'm going to fold that back. Now, you guys can tell I love this paper so much. I wanted to use it as the cardstock base, even though it's Designer Series paper, so that we can showcase both sides of it. I just love it. Now, can you guys see where I have the little coffee? I cut it out of the middle of this nested label die. So we're just going to put that to the side, and we're going to snip this in half. And then I already have some dimensionals here, and I have them under the points. So what I'm going to do is actually align this right now with the overhang, and that's to create this look here. You guys see that? There we go. Okay, so we're going to do the same on both sides. Where did my piece go? There it is. So same on both sides, and now the person who receives this card doesn't even know that there's a hacked up piece underneath there. It looks like one rectangular piece, but here we go. Shh, don't tell them. Now I'm going to take off the rest of my dimensionals there, but you might notice that there's something funky going on with the back side of this card, and there's a white piece of paper stuck to the black. Now this is our adhesive sheets, and you can run this through your die cutting machine, and once you peel that off, there's actually adhesive on there. And this is just a residual benefit from the real benefit, which was to get that adhesive sheet on the back of our coffee so we can use that like a sticker. It's so handy. And if you own a die cutting machine or punches that do intricate little detailed images, then you'll definitely want to add this to your order because it is a game changer in terms of convenience. Then you're not using, you know, a fine tip glue pen or a Tombow multi-adhesive to try and adhere this finicky little thing down. It's actually got a sticker built into it, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a couple minutes here. So you might notice that there's also a second die cut image of coffee, and this is the one that's thick. It's got basically like dimensional material on it, but I've run that through the die cutting machine. Our new Big Boss is the one that I'm using, and now it's a dimensional built into it. So I'm going to start with laying that part down, and I'm going to put that exactly where I want it. So you could put it in the middle here. If you didn't have these coffee cups, you could do that. I'm just going to stick it up here, and I like that I can actually kind of arch it. Ta-da! Now you'll notice there's still some little pieces in there. You see those inside the O? That's where the Take Your Pick tool comes in as a game changer. This has a whole bunch of different things on it. There's a little silicone putty there, then there's kind of a palette knife, and then if you disengage that, you can turn it around, and there's this pick tool. We call it the piercing tool. Don't do body piercings with this. That would not go over well. But then you can just pick out these little pieces that are stuck inside the O and the F. Okay, here we go. And you can just kind of gather them in your hand and then throw them out all at once, or stick them on another sheet of paper or something like that. But you'll need both of these pieces, both pieces of coffee, to create this look that I've got going on. Maybe you can see it. Can you see how my coffee has a little halo? So now we're going to do that part by peeling off this backing paper. That's that adhesive sheet. And you can see it works really well because usually the insides of the letters comes off with it. And now I've got sticker on the back side of that. Can you see? The adhesive is right on there. Then I can put it on and just offset it a little bit. And then you get that pop of color and the punch of having it black as well. So cute, right? Oh, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'd love to see some hearts if you are loving what I'm showing you here. So can you guys see that? You could make this in so many different varieties. Look at those two coffees. Oh, they're so cute. And this one in hot pink. I think it's in Melon Mambo. So adorable. So then I've got some coffee cups already cut out here, and I've started coloring them a little bit because I wanted a head start to finish off my card. So let me just work on this a little bit. I'm using Stampin Blends. So if you guys are wondering what colors coordinate with this paper pack, dark Calypso Coral, Calypso Coral, light and dark, of course, Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, Bermuda Bay, Magenta Madness, and Rich Razzleberry are your colors. So you can kind of pull from those and do whatever you want. I've got some Mango Melody going on here, along with the Bermuda Bay. So I'm going to just finish coloring in my darkness, my darkest one here. And there are some people who start with light and then go to dark and then go back to light to blend. But for me, I like the express version, and I love that these alcohol markers are so forgiving. So I start with the dark, and then I go back over top of it with the light, which will blend it. Now you cannot do these techniques with water-based markers, and those would be like our Stampin' Write markers that we offer. They're round. They just don't work the same way. These ones are alcohol-based, so even once the pigment is on the paper, that's not where it's set as being. So you can get lots of variance in tone. And then I've got dimensionals on the back of these. I'm just going to have them bouncing along the front here. Ta-da! And then 3 coffee cup kind of a day. How many coffees did you guys have today? I have 1 decaf because I'm crazy like that. If I have caffeine in the morning, it makes me crazy. But I really love the taste of coffee, so I always have it, but I just have decaf. The final finishing touches for this card are to take your sequins that already have the adhesive on them, and then you're just going to scatter them. So I like to put kind of the bigger one and then smaller one. There we go, and another bigger one, and then a couple down here, just like that. And because they have the adhesive on there already, it's just so convenient. So do you want to see the rest of what's happening with these 2 projects and where these products came from? I'm going to put these here. I think you guys are probably done with seeing that one, so I'll put it to the side a little bit. And let's go back, and I'm going to regroup and tell you them how I actually wanted to show you. So again, nothing's better than that was used for both of those projects. For both of these projects, the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper is being used. And did you guys get a look of that paper? Can you imagine a 12 by 12 inch sheet of that paper? It's just stunning. All right, and then we've got on the next page here, that's what I'm trying to show you, is the Artistry Blooms Sequins. So there are some that I haven't used yet, so I have a couple sheets. So there's also a blue, and here is, I went through 2 packs of these prepping these projects, but there's some beautiful red ones, pink ones. What are they? Rich Razzleberry. That's fun. But you know what else would go really well with these? Wink, wink. My special for the month. And this is a retired product, so you cannot get this other than through me. So with a $100 order this month, I'm offering you these glitter enamel dots for free. And they come in the perfect colors to coordinate with this pack. So there's Coastal Cabana. This is a green that is retired, but it goes really, really well with our Granny Apple Green. You can see it in the Designer Series paper there. We also have Mango Melody and Gorgeous Grape. So the perfect colors to go along with this. It's not too late to earn one of these. If you've already placed an order, just top it up and then you can get these for free too. Okay, there we go. Back on track. Now we're on to the adhesives page, and I'm going to show you these couple of adhesives. The ones that I used were the adhesive sheets, which is very vague, but that's what went under the black layer of the coffee. Then we've got our foam adhesive sheets, so adhesive sheets and foam adhesive sheets, and these ones are the ones that went under the colored piece of coffee, and that's what turns it into a puffy dimensionalized sticker of whatever shape that you've got. You can of course cut these into strips if you wanted to. We do offer that product as well as strips, but these ones, the real benefit is that you can crank it through your die cutting machine and get it in whatever shape that you want. So foam adhesive sheets, and then of course I used the tear and tape as well. And then back here, I've got our stitched nested labels dies, and I've got the 2 missing that I used, but it comes with so many of them. And of course they give you that little stitching, which is actually just a kind of dot. It looks really modern. It has it on both sides of this cutting edge. So the cutting edge is in the middle, and you can use either the negative or the positive cut and get a totally different look. If you guys want to know more about that, you just ask. I'd be happy to send you examples of them. So stitch nested labels, you guys need those, right? Now, okay, let's rewind and go back to the first project that I was supposed to, oh, holy moly, I'm all over the place. I'm going to show you these adhesive sheets. And I'm going to show you the foam adhesive sheets. That's what I was going to show you next. So just in case you're still finishing off that project, I'm going to show you how to cut out cocktails and cookies from this little piece here in both different styles. So I'm going to come in here with my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut the foam adhesive sheet. And this is going to give that puffy sticker. So I like to kind of go through a couple of different times. Then I know that I'm getting a nice cut on it. Now, if you've got a rotary cutter, then it cuts it through like butter. Honestly, it does. And it doesn't matter if I'm just kind of ripping this a little bit. It's because I didn't press hard enough, and that's okay. Let's see if I can do it going this way. There we go. No problem. Just have to put your back into it, right? So this one might be better to go along with the cookies. So I'm going to stick that on the back side. It's got a little strip here that I'm going to take off and stick onto the back side where I'm going to cut out cookies. And I'm going to just turn this around. This is a watercolor wash that I've done. You could do this with designer series paper, any color of cardstock. You can make your own patterns. You can make your own, you know, rainbow spectrum if you want to. Okay. And then we're just using our regular sandwich. So if you guys haven't seen our new die cutting machine, it has every plate and component numbered, and then it gives you instructions of numbers. So you put 1, 2, and then 3 number 3 plates. Sorry, 2 number 3 plates. And then that creates your sandwich. Now I like to always use one as my cutting surface and then one as my top plate, because these plates are consumable. They're expected to warp or get patterns cut into them. But if you use one as the top plate, then consistently you will have less patterns on it. And then when you have to throw out your one that you've been cutting into first, then you still have the life of the second one, right? Okay, let's pull this to the side. Now, you might have noticed I went through a couple of times, and that's so that I could get a nice cut. And when I peel this off, use my take your pick tool with the attachment here to poke out all those little holes. And then there we go. We've got a puffy sticker that we can apply onto our project. So cute, right? So I'm going to snip that off because I don't want to send it through too many times. Every time you send it through, it flattens the dimension a little bit. It's not really noticeable if you have it just, you know, a couple of times, but if you're cutting out a whole bunch of things, you'd want to be aware of that. Okay, so that's foam adhesive sheets. Now let's go to our adhesive sheets. Those ones are 12 inches by 6 inches, and you just cut them the same way. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little strip here. When I do these videos, I utilize every single surface, including the floor. And I should always post a picture afterwards because it is just like a bomb went off down here. So just the same way, I'm going to peel the adhesive backing off, and one side will feel like wax paper and one side will have the adhesive on it, and it's very sticky adhesive. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's actually sticking my finger to it, right? It's kind of coming off with my finger. So you just stick that onto the back of the paper. Then you, again with the same sandwich, and you choose which saying you want. We're going to do cocktails because, well, you know, sometimes you just need cocktails. And then when you crank that through, it separates perfectly. and you can peel it off and get a really fun sticker. Again, no finicky sticking or gluing with any fine tip pens or Tombow pens. And say if you had that paper pumpkin kit that I was talking about, how cute would it be to put a little cocktail glass there? Isn't that great? Oh, I just stuck that on to the first thing that I had handy, and you better believe last night it was one of those cardstock bases, because I think those are everywhere around my house. I just love them. Okay, next project. We're going back. We're going to pretend like I didn't make this one because that was a little bit out of order, but let's go back to my bonus card that I provided to people who picked up their projects from my house. So this is using one of those paper pumpkin postcards. So these ones, they came with an envelope, but really you just put them onto the card front and then they're a card. They're not a postcard. So don't let the postcard-ness scare you off. But we're going to create a card that looks like, I don't have all the pieces together, that looks like that. Peace on Earth. Now, I'm going to put this to the side because you might be able to kind of look at it and put it together. We've got our designer series paper, which I put on with Stampin' Seal, and I have the metallic side facing out, but of course you can choose to do whatever you want. And then I have that same image punched out of our flocked paper. It's fuzzy paper, and I'll show you where it is. It comes in 3 colors in one pack. I'm using 2 of the colors on this card. I've got the soft Seafoam, and then this is the Highland Heather. But if you have your die cutting machine handy and an embossing folder, you could choose something fun, maybe the Dainty Stars. I think that's what this one is called. And you can actually put this paper through your embossing machine and get a really fun pattern on it. So not only is it textured and fuzzy, it's also textured with impression. So that's a really fun way of using this paper as well. So I didn't have a chance to do all that, but I played with it before I did my event yesterday, and I wanted to show you guys that too. All right, so then you're going to put your piece of flocked paper on. I just did it with some Stampin' Seal as well. And then your little circle, you're going to stamp onto it. Now I have a bit of a pattern going on mine. Can you guys see the variance in color? So we've got kind of different tones going on there. Oh, Dainty Diamonds embossing folder, that's the one, thank you. I can't see who's writing that, but you're a genius, and you get bonus points for that. Thank you very much. And then I've just put on the back side of my die cut doves here a couple of dimensionals. There's a little mini glue dot that I rolled up, and that's what's holding on this metallic sprig. And so that's just going to be adhered on here. I have a technique that I want to show you guys. That's why I'm kind of rushing through the assembly of this. On the wing, which of course could be an angel wing as well as a dove wing, I've got one of the border strips of dimensional, and then that just goes on there like that. And ta-da, you've got your finished card. So do you guys want to see how I made this piece on Earth really fun and different? I'm going to show you how to make this color scheme, but I'll show you both colors that I used. So going off of the papers, the piece on Earth that's kind of more pink, I made to go along with this card base. And then I did this one here to go along with the purpley blue one. So you can change up the colors however you want. I did, for both of them, I did Highland Heather. And then for the pinky one, I did Calypso Coral and Petal Pink. And then for the piece on Earth, I used the Reinkers in the colors Soft Seafoam and Coastal Cabana. So if you want to recreate this, that's what you use. I'm going to make this one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the this one here, the blue one. Now, do you guys have a guess of how I did this? I'm sure many of you have done this before, but maybe you've forgotten this, or maybe you just haven't done it in a while and you need to be reminded. It's using something that I have tons of in my house, and that is baby wipes. And I'm sure you probably have some too, even if you don't have 2 children like I do. We're going to make our own ink pad. So I just fold it over to make sure that I have a nice flat version. And the nice thing is with this, you actually don't have to have the expensive ones. So I just have my kind of inexpensive ones that I keep in my stamp room. Okay, I'm going to do some of the Highland Heather. I'm going to do lots of my lightest color, which is the soft Seafoam. I'm just putting dots on here. And you can do this technique in all different kinds of looks. So you could do it dotted like this. If you wanted to do an ombre look, you would do it like this, right? Stripes. So now Coastal Cabana, I'm going to put a bit of that on there. And I'm just going to blend the edge a little bit, and I always do that with my darker color. And then if you're doing the dots, like how I did mine in my sample, then you're just going to put some more dots on here. The wonderful thing is we used to sell spectrum pads. And once you've got those 5 colors on that spectrum pad that you've paid whatever $15 for, those are the colors. There's no flexibility. But with this technique, all you need are some Reinkers, which you would need with the spectrum pads anyways, and then you can create as many different options of this color scheme as you wanted. So now I'm taking my Highland Heather and I just did some dots around here. So you guys want to see what this looks like when you stamp it? Let's bring our Peace on Earth in, which has escaped me. I need like a handler. I need somebody spotting me. It's right next to me. Peace on Earth. And this comes from the Dove paper, or sorry, the Dove stamp set and die set. So I move it just a little bit to blend it on there, and then let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's so pretty. So let's, I'm just going to wipe off a little bit here. And then we'll see what this one looks like. With the spectrum, you want to just move it up and down a little bit. Oh, we've got some hearts coming in. I'm excited to see that. So that's pretty cool. I might, the next time here, do a little bit more purple. So maybe it goes on more. Oh, it still didn't go. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some more purple. There we go. I really like that third one that I did there, that piece. So what colors would you guys want to use to put on a spectrum pad? Again, you could do it dots. You can do it kind of an ombre look. Ooh. So this is not good, like those spectrum pads that we used to sell. These are not good for the next day because they don't have a cover on them. But hey, you know, you could stamp a whole bunch of these and then save them for whatever projects that you needed. Okay, are you guys all right with that? Can I show you where we got the different products? This is that Dove of Hope. We've got beautiful dove imagery and amazing sayings. And then these are the dies that go along with it. And I actually don't even have the 3 that I used on there in there. But if you are a fan of angels, you'll definitely want these angel wings as well. Okay, let's take a look. These ones are in the annual catalog. We've got, what did I have here? The Color Velveteen paper pack. So this one comes in Cinnamon Cider, Highland Heather, Soft Seafoam. Who has never seen this in the catalog? Give me a like if you've never seen this in the catalog. Maybe you skipped over it. Maybe your eye went straight to that rainbow glimmer paper and your brain was just blown. So the next one is, of course, we've got our Label Me Lovely punch. And then for dies, I use the Stitch Shapes, and this is the smallest, I think it is the smallest circle. Oh no, it's the second smallest circle. If you guys don't have this, it's the perfect starter because it comes with circles and ovals and squares, 4 different sizes for each of them, and it has the stitching on them too. So incredible value really for what you get. Now the rest of these products are actually in our mini catalog. So our Dove of Hope, which of course you can bundle and save 10% by getting the detailed dove dies as well. And I wanted to show you that you can use the dove in a whole bunch of different ways. So I only had the top layer, which is like the detailed feathers, but they've actually done 2 wings poking out, and then over top of the solid die cut of the wing. So getting a totally different look. So you can get it express or quick, or a little bit more in depth. And then, do you guys remember this paper? Who remembers this paper? It's back, straight back from last year. And it is probably the #1 seller that I had last year. It's hiding on page 42 of our catalog here. And it's called Feels Like Frost. Do you guys want to see it? Yes, you do. I think you guys are all saying yes to your phones or your computers, whatever you're watching on. Take a look at this paper. It's 6 inches by 6 inches, and it comes with metallics. Oh, I've mixed up some of them here. Metallics. Oh, come on now. There we go. Metallics all on one side. And these are with a whisper white background, but because it's white, you can make this any color that you want. So you can sponge on it, you can sponge dauber on it, you can brayer on it, you can spritz it with whatever color that you want. So it can be silver embossed with whatever color that you want. Isn't it gorgeous? And then the other side are all these photograph images. So you could use bits of this, or you can use the whole thing. Look at this one. This one's my favorite. Oh my gosh, the colors. So gorgeous. That one I think I showed you already. But every sheet of these has frosty things. So you can even put some, you know, Stella, which we love so much. Or we could put some dazzling diamonds, some glimmer dazzling, sorry, not dazzling diamonds. What am I saying? What's the clear one? It's got glimmer in it now, and it's just come back again. Who's going to say it? Who's going to answer my question? But look at that. It's so beautiful, right? And then we've got branches with frost all on them. Look at these snowy branches. So beautiful. All you need really is a saying to go along with this, right? It just showcases it right by itself. Okay. So do you guys want to see a card that I made with that last year? This is such a simple card, and it just had a saying on there, as well as those that same shape as our coffee card, right? Cut off. And then this is the back side of the paper, so you can see that bit of shine on there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This is the paper that I have a whole pack that will never be cut into. And then I have a pack that I will use, and that's the one that I keep replacing. But I always have one pack for me hoarded forever. Is anyone else like that? Oh dear. It's tough on my stamp room, that's for sure. But love that Dove of Hope. Okay, we're back on track, folks. We're back on track for this next card here, which funnily enough, I used the wrong paper. Crystal Effects! Whoever got that. I can't see who's commenting, but whoever got the Crystal Effects, ding, 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 we have a winner. This next card, it was so funny. I placed a pre-order for a demonstrator pack of paper that is coming to you guys. I think it's maybe next month. But I grabbed the wrong paper, and so you guys actually have a super sneak peek with the projects that you have for club. This is the paper that I was going to use because I wanted to showcase a paper that was on sale, but like I said, I grabbed the wrong pack. So this is the 'Tis the Season 6x6 inch paper, and this would have been so cute on this card. There's lots of different patterns that would have been gorgeous, and yet I grabbed the wrong one. So anyways, this is the one that's on sale this month. The paper that's included in your cut projects is actually not available right now, so not available till next month. Okay, you guys are starting to see the card maybe. You guys want to see it? We got some Stella on there. We've got our beautiful ribbon. Let's show you that ribbon by itself. Isn't that pretty? And then we've got the cord that comes along with that ribbon pack. That's actually a 2-pack, which has got great value. It comes with both of those in there. And I really like the versatility of them, using them together, using them on their own. They're really versatile. And then, of course, our poinsettias. So with the poinsettias, I've got mine stamped and cut out. And I'm going to color them with our cherry cobbler, which is the coordinating color here, and the light shaded spruce. But I wanted to show you as well that you can use our dies to cut this out. So that's what I've done here on this flower. And when you get the dies, you're going to want to make a note of which dies go with which. And because these can go through your die cutting machine at the same time to create this impression as well as cut out the outside. If you're doing a whole bunch of these, you're going to be piecing this together and trying to figure out, oh my goodness, which way does it go? And then you're going to have to try it a whole bunch of different ways. To save yourself that hassle, you can actually layer them like this and draw a little Sharpie line on there, so that you always know which petal goes with which. And you don't have to be trying it out and going, nope, that's not the right way. That's not the right way. That's not the right way. So I did that for all of mine that nest together. So there you go. Then you know exactly which way it's going to go. So what does that look like when you put that through your die cutting machine? We've got our beautiful impressions on there. Can you guys see that? Oh, it's so pretty. So if you have those done up, then you just put your card together with all the different layers. If you're doing a version like I am, then you'd want to stamp and then cut out all the different pieces and then color them. So again, I'm not going to show you this whole, like, how I do the coloring completely, but I'll show you an express version. So I'm coming in with my dark and I am going sloppy because I'm just kind of laying down the base of the color. And I know that once I put on my lighter color, then I can really move around this color that I've already applied. So then taking the brush tip, this one's a little bit frayed, so I like to still use it, but any of the details, I come in and do the edges afterwards. But once I scribble over it, then it moves around that dark color that's already on there. And then I'll come back in and do the points here with my nice fine tip. So I'll just show you my finished one. I did the same thing with my 2 little leaves here, my poinsettia leaves. And then over the top, I put my Reinker Stella, and I just followed the veins and then put a little bit closer to the center here. So if you're crafting along with me at home, if at any point you need to try to catch up with me, just put your project to the side and then try to stay with me if I move along to the next project here. So to show you the next part of putting this cord together, I've got it here. I'm going to put it in a figure 8 and use a dimensional to stick it together. Where are my dimensions? Here they are. So I just take a dimensional and I use that, oops, I got 2 there. And I just use that as a place hold. And then I stick that onto the back side of my poinsettia. So I will do that with my other piece that I have here. And you can, of course, move this around a little bit, make this one a little bit smaller. Ta-da! And that's what gives you your cute little swirl coming out the back there. To get the cut like this on your ribbon, just fold your ribbon in half, like this, and then you're going to cut into the center here like that on both sides. Now you might have to cut it down a little bit more, so lay it on your card and then you'll only have to do the cut once and not be doing that bang haircut again. So there we go. Got the perfect length to go across. Now this paper that's coming is really cool. It comes in 8 different patterns in 3 different colors, and then you get a whole bunch of sheets of each. So you can see it comes in the shaded spruce color, which is the same color as this ribbon, Sahara sand, and then there's another one that's the cherry cobbler color too. So this isn't available this month. I'm sorry that I'm teasing you with it, but it's just an extra sneak peek. You guys can get it probably starting next month. Okay, so I put that onto my Whisper White. I put dimensionals on the back of that. And then that goes onto my card base. I've already stamped on here a beautiful saying that is really different from anything else that we have. May magic and wonder bloom this holiday. And that's from this Poinsettia Petals stamp set. They've shrunken this down because there is just so much in this set. You get 2 sheets in there. So I really like this stamp set for the sayings. I like it for the imagery. And of course I love the dies for being able to cut out the images that you stamp, but also to create those beautiful poinsettia pieces that are just on their own, right? So a little bit of Stampin' Seal goes across here, and then that's going to put our piece of ribbon on. And then our little poinsettia piece, whether you've got, you know, the die cut cardstock version, or if you choose to stamp and then cut out. And then I'm not going to attach this because I have to color it first. But dimensionals on there. Dimensionals on every level, guys, because you know me, I love dimensionals. I did dimensionals under here and tuck those underneath like that. And then to finish it all off, I've got these red rhinestone basic jewels, which are so beautiful. They come in only one size, but I think you get 220 in the pack. And then I put 3 of those in the center, and then I scattered the other ones kind of around. So there you go. There's your beautiful finished card. So if you're stamping along with me at home, you're probably not finished this, but you know, if you have to put it aside for a couple minutes, then do so. But I'm going to stall a little bit for you and show you where to get these products from the catalogs. Okay, so we've got our Poinsettia Petals, and of course in the catalog everything is shown full size, so you know exactly what you're getting. And anything with an outline here just shows you what the die cuts will cut out. So the poinsettia dies, and these ones also have the dies that will do an impression on there too. So you can choose to just cut the leaves out or do the leaves as the impression, and then the other poinsettia layers as the impression too. So pretty. Of course, bundle and save 10%. And then we've got our 'Tis the Season paper, which I would recommend getting this month, that you could use on a card like this. And of course, that one's going to be on sale. Also that we used on this page is the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo pack. That one's really beautiful. Really luxe ribbon, I find. And then out of our annual catalog, we just have those red rhinestone basic jewels, which are so versatile for the upcoming seasons. And of course, great for Christmas, great for Valentine's Day, but we use red all year round, right? So those will be perfect in your collection. No coloring necessary, right? They're just ready to go. Okay, are you guys ready for your final project? This is the one that's a little bit of a showstopper. If you're stamping along with me at home, just put that other one to the side. You know how to make it now, and you can finish it off later. You're going to get out the pieces for our slimline card. Have you made a slimline card before? Do you guys know what a slimline card is? It's a different shaped card that's a little bit more vertical and long than our regular cards. I don't know if you can even see that full one in the picture there. It cuts it off. So the slimline card dimensions are 3.5 by 8.5. So that means This is an 8.5 by 11 size. So when you cut your piece of cardstock, you're not going to cut the one side. You're just going to cut it down to 7 inches. So it's going to be 8.5 inches by 7 inches, and then you'll have a strip that's left over. Okay? These cards do not have envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sells, but you can just use whatever envelope, letter size envelope that you use for mailing all of your letters that you mail out. Do you guys mail letters and bills anymore? Who's doing that still in the days of online banking? I salute you. Take out all your little bits and pieces. I've got a gold embossed leaf here that I made from the Loyal leaves with embossing powder onto vanilla paper. So if you wanted to recreate this at home, this is the set that you would use, the Loyal leaves, but you could use any leaf set as well. I just love this one. It's so easy to do. And I gotta say, when I was making a few of these, I just stamped a whole sheet of these in Versamark and then put embossing powder over the whole thing, dumped it off, and then heat set them all at once. And this is how it turned out. It's so easy to use. So if you wanted to recreate one of those, if you want your card to look like mine, that's how you would do it. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of bits and pieces here, and don't lose your little acorn. Just set that to the side so that you don't lose it. The first step that we're going to do is take our fluid 100, I think it's 100. Fluid 100, I think, watercolor paper, and we're going to use our new Waterpainters. So if you don't have these yet, honestly, you will want to upgrade your old aqua painters. These ones come in a set of 3. Our previous ones came in a set of 2, and so just like the last set, you get a large and a small paintbrush. This is just colored blue because I have a little bit of Reinker on there, but it is actually clear normally, and it will rinse clear again. And you just put water inside of these. So I don't know if you can see that, but you put water in there. The third one, though, is so much fun. And it's got this big, humongous fan tip. And take a look at this. You can twist it and fan the brushes out even more. Isn't that fun? So can you guys see how it really fanned it out? Let's see if I can twist it back. Regular and twist it. Cool, right? So when you're putting these back together, just make sure that you're pinching in the bristles so that you don't ruin them and get crazy hairdo water painters. The color that I'm going to use is matchy to this card, which is Mint Macaron, and that's going to be on both of these cards here, depending on which color combination you have. Okay, so I have a little bit of Reinker that I've put on this block here. I like using a block as a palette. Works really well. And then I just add a little bit by squeezing a little bit of Reinker, or sorry, not Reinker, this is water. It's from the water painter. Okay, and I'm going to take off most of the color now because I'm going to start doing my swoosh. So if I put a little bit more on there, then I can get it clear. Now I'm going to start, and I would recommend you do this as well, working under, oh, look at that ribbon, it's tucking out, peeking out at me. Get back under there. So I would recommend starting where you're putting your embellishments. That way, if you get a heavy deposit of color, you know that you're covering it up and you can fix it by the time that you get to the top. So that's my little tip for you. So starting here, which I don't have very much color on there because I don't have very much water, but let's take a look. I'm just going to do a swish back and forth. And the wonderful part about this paper is that it really does a good job of absorbing the water. It can tolerate a lot of water saturation, way more than, say, our Whisper White or Very Vanilla. If you tried to do this technique with those papers, your paper would just roll apart. It would start to disintegrate. So I'm going to just put in a little bit more color kind of here and there. And if you're not super confident with this technique quite yet, you can definitely heat set it and then go back and apply a little bit more color if you want to. So once you do it once, you're not set with that. You can definitely apply more color. You can take it away, like how our blends can move around the color that's already on the paper, but you definitely can add more color. So start light, always, 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 and then you can go darker. I'm using the heat tool to just speed up the drying process, but I think every time is going to look a little bit different. I really like this time, has even some yellow tones in there, it kind of looks like. Now the finishing touch for this is to do some splatter. So can you see a little bit of splatter there? Now I'm going to move my nice things to the side here because it's about to get messy. And just controlled mess, right? We like controlled mess. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that color from my block. I'm going to take my lid and I'm going to flicking down to my paper, and that's going to give this speckled look. Oh, there we go. So these ones, my speckles actually were quite fine. So once again, it's going to look different every time. It was me creating all of these cards, but they do look a little bit different, right? That's kind of fun. So you could, of course, work on this technique a million times over and get different looks every time and kind of finesse it and figure out which look you like best. So now that this is nice and dry, because I heat set it, I can start putting things together. So taking my background piece, and you'll notice that I punched out some shapes already so that Missing You, the tag that I've stamped Missing You, came out of there. And I just alternated the color of that little rectangle for you guys so that if you have Cajun Craze, then you're going to get a, I just said the color, Mint Macaron little rectangle. And then these ones here, I've put a texture on as well. So you can see I sent that through our new Big Boss, is what I'm calling it. And that's our new die cutting and embossing machine. And I've got that nice impression on there. This is a really cool embossing folder because if you were to use this with any designer series paper, it would make it look like it's a fabric. So if you had some really cool designs, even the plaid would look so cool with that because it would make it look like a nice fuzzy plaid sweater. Okay, I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on here and we're just going to start layering this up. I love, again, nice dimensions for not wasting paper, 1 inch by 3 inches. And this look kind of makes it look like there's a layer underneath all of this, but of course I've just got 2 little strips there. Another layer that we have here are these little strips, and those are going to go on the top and the bottom. These are our brushed metallics, and you can have them in the gold color or in the bronze color, and there's a third color in the pack too, I'll show you. So I actually just put them on the back side of my watercolor paper, and you can choose to pop up your watercolor paper with dimensionals if you so choose, or you can choose to lay it flat. There are benefits either way, and the benefit of laying it flat would be that there's less warping. Because this paper has been wet and then dried again, it could be warped and it might bow out a little bit more. But this one here is actually quite flat. So I'm going to do some dimensionals because any time that you don't use dimensionals is perhaps a wasted opportunity, right? I love dimensionals. I like dimensionals under layers, and I put a lot of different layers on, but I actually don't put too many dimensionals on. This is kind of my max, is 6 on a piece of paper, but I sure like putting them on multiple layers. So you might be looking at that linen thread and wondering, how does that go on? That I have wrapped around this entire piece. So before I put it onto my cardstock base, I'm going to wrap that around, but I'm going to just do a couple more things So I'm going to hold off on putting this onto the cardstock base for now. I've again got my leaf from Loyal Leaves. I'll put that on there like that. And then I actually did this afterwards, even on my sample, but some Stampin' Seal, and then I just kind of tucked this in behind here. I like to use the layout and kind of go with that. There we go. Missing You, that's what I stamped on there, and again, that's from Loyal Leaves. This one's got some great sayings on there. You are my hero, you are strong, you are loyal, you are true, missing you, thank you, older and wiser. So good, right? And so I just stamped that. I found that that fit perfectly on there, but again, if you're making this at home, recreating this at home, then you can use whatever stamps that you have. Before I put this on, I'm going to put on my little tiny piece of ribbon that I've enclosed, and this was totally an afterthought, but I wanted to get this ribbon in your hands because I probably won't use it next month, and it's just so beautiful. So I put that little tab on there, right next to the Missing You, and if you're worried about that sticking on, you can even just put an extra little bit of Stampin' Seal on there. Missing You. Oh, I liked the proportion here. Put it over that way. Okay, now I'm going to take my linen thread. Oh boy, what a rat's nest. Okay, when I was prepping this project for you guys, oh my goodness, I got to the end of my 5th spool and I thought, this could have been a mistake that I wrapped this around 3 times for 48 projects, but I managed to have enough. So hey, being a hoarder really helps sometimes when you're designing and you need some extra linen thread. My goodness. I'm going to feed the acorn onto the end there, and then I'm just going to tie it on. So tying it on means that I get the perfect placement and I know it's not going anywhere, because those acorns are quite hefty, aren't they? They're weighty. They've got some mass to them. And then you're going to kind of finesse your bow. You always have to do this, right? No matter how good you are at tying bows, you always have to just finesse it at the end. So I'll tighten that up. And then you might notice that it's still going to sag down a little bit. So my solution for that is to take a glue dot and put it, I like to put it on with my take your pick tool. And I just pick one off, pick a little glue dot off, and then I stick it right under where the ribbon bow is tied. And then that way you still get some motion. Why is this one so stuck? I must have got a bit of it there. Anyways, it's supposed to move around a little bit. That's okay. And then you'll know that it's always going to stay put in the right spot. Now I'll trim off these extra little tails. And now we're good to go with putting it onto our cardstock base. Now, rookie mistake, which even the professionals or semi-professionals or wannabe professionals make, is putting it on the card front wrong, right? So it opens the wrong way. So always check that. I've got 6 dimensionals on the back side there too. I'm going to stick this on. And now the final finishing touch is to take 2 cute little, whoopsie, champagne little rhinestones there and put them up there. What do you think? Do you guys like this card? Do you like the slim line? Is it new? Is it different? Is it something that you haven't tried before? I hope you like it. This card is definitely a showstopper in my opinion. It's got so much metallic and shimmer to it, and yet it's just so classy and elegant. And I know that I'm going to be sending this to somebody who I really miss. And if you guys have the stamp set and if you have the Missing You sentiment on there, please think about in the next week here sending this card out to someone who you miss. Not only because this might be our last week of semi-fall, and then otherwise you'd have to wait maybe a little bit, or maybe you just want to send this out because it's a beautiful nature card. But send this out to someone, because I think there are quite a few of us who are missing people, and I think it's just so nice for them to hear it, and what a wonderful piece of art for them to put up in their house too, and think of you every day, right? So missing you, there you go, our final card. Now let me show you the products that we used for this card, and boy, there's a few of them. So from our annual catalog, we've got our Loyal Leaves, and that's that great gender neutral or masculine set, which is a beautiful nature theme to it. Got sayings, it's got leaves, it looks beautiful in embossing. And speaking of embossing, I used the gold with a heat tool, stamped with Versamark, so that it sticks that embossing powder on there. If you want to know more about embossing, you just let me know. And then, of course, on this page too are our Waterpainters. Again, $16.25 is super economical for 3 of these Waterpainters. And I'm telling you, they're deluxe. I've owned many of the other ones, and these ones are my favorite by far. Also, we've got you can get our foil sheets here too, but I'm going to show you a different pack. The Fluid 100, it is 100. I wonder why it's 100. I bet there's a reason behind that. Anyways, Fluid 100 is our watercolor paper. Now, the only other paper that you can do this kind of technique with is our shimmery white cardstock. If you were to use Very Vanilla or Whisper White or even our thick cardstock, it's going to warp, it's going to start rolling, it's going to start breaking apart. So if you're wanting to do that kind of watercolor wash technique, you're going to want shimmery white or the Fluid 100, okay? Make sure you have those in your collection so they're ready to go when you have the urge to do a swoosh. We've got our Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels as well. And those ones do come in different sizes. Those are 3 different sizes. And then, of course, we've got our linen thread. You want to make sure that you have, 5 or 6 spools of that on hand, just in case you want to prep 48 cards. And our tailored tag punch. So many products, right? But I had to get these in your hands. Over here we've got our stitched rectangles, and that was this little tag that I stamped Missing You onto. That was the smallest rectangle here. These ones are so nice because they stitch on the inside and the outside of the cutting edge. And then the embossing folder that I used is the Tasteful Textile 3D one, and that's what gives that texture to that little tailored tag punch image. Now we've just got one product out of our holiday catalog, and that, oh sorry, 2, no 3, oh I'm such a liar, there's 4. I shouldn't even talk anymore. What time is it? Is it after 8? My brain shut down. Gilded Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper is the paper that's here. Now this one, of course, is not on sale, but I had to use it because it's just fall coming to an end and it's so beautiful. But these are all embossed with different colors, actually gold and bronze, but there's so many beautiful patterns with this paper. And some of them are just neutral, right? It doesn't have to be fall. And then some of them are like very, very fall, right? But that's a beautiful package of paper. And again, not a part of this sale that's on this month, but still, you'll want to get it and start playing with it, I'm sure. We've got our Brush Metallic. Now this is the one that I was talking about. It comes in a 3-pack with 2 of each of the 3 colors. You get bronze, you get copper, and gold. And there is a subtle striped brush look to it. So there's no pattern, but it's just subtle. So if you're wanting to get started with a variety of different colors, this is a great starter pack. And then of course we've got our acorn trinkets, which come in a pack of 20 pieces. So you can make all kinds of cute little things. Wouldn't that be cute on like a little gift bag or something like that, a little tie? And then the basket weave and metallic ribbon. We've used this ribbon, I think it was last month, but this is that tiny little piece of ribbon that came poking out here. So There we go. It's a wrap, you guys, and it is a disaster over here, but I hope that you've had fun watching me. I hope if you were crafting along with me that you've enjoyed the projects. Let's see. I'm going to just stack them up here. And you can see all the different projects that we made. There we go. So we've got our chocolate bag, we've got our coffee gift card, we've got our Made Magic and Wonder Bloom this holiday with our poinsettias. We've got our Missing You with our leaves, and then we've got Peace on Earth with the dove. And this is that bonus for picking up from my house. So if you would like these cards, you just let me know, because I have a couple of additional sets available. So if you wanted a duplicate, or maybe you wanted to make these cards yourself, you just let me know. They're $15 for a set. Or you can get your first set for free if you place a minimum $35 order this month. So thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate having you here. And I can't wait to read all your little comments. So thanks again for stamping with me. It was so wonderful to see you, to talk to you. I didn't see you, but you saw my hands. And I really hope that we can stamp together soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a good night, you guys.